Let's get you the latest on this. The city of Cape Town says it has impounded 14 taxis over the last few days. 8 taxis were taken off the road on Friday and a further 6 on Saturday. The city says the vehicles were seized in line with an agreement reached with SANTACO just a few days ago. Today, there is meant to be a meeting with a number of stakeholders, and SANTACO has indicated that it will not be part of this meeting as it is also mulling some legal action. Let's speak to the spokesperson of SANTACO, or rather the first deputy chairperson, Nceba Enge. Mr. Enge, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. What is the situation at this hour? What do we need to understand in particular about the agreement and the impoundments that took place over the weekend?
Thank you so much, ma'am, and good afternoon to you and viewers at home. This is so confusing. And, it's the city of Cape Town and the Department of Mobility in this moment another confusing things, because the agreement was that the only impoundment will be on the 3 offences that are clearly defined in the NLTA and of which we have agreed upon. But we found it so strange that our vehicles were impounded on Friday, Saturday and Sunday for offences that are non-impoundable. And these vehicles, they are still in the pound.
Essentially, are you then saying that the city has gone back or reneged or broken part of the agreement, or the agreement in particular on the impounding on this issue? If you're saying that those taxis that were impounded had nothing to do with the agreement?
No, what happens is that they've reneged because they were not supposed to be impounded for those offences. Instead, a fine should have been issued for those offences, but they were impounded. And the city fails to come and explain to us why did they impound those vehicles. That is an impasse we had even when we couldn't reach an agreement. And fortunately, we reached an agreement and agreed that if a vehicle is found overloaded, a fine will be issued. It will not be impounded. And even the National Road Traffic Act says it clearly. And in another vehicle, the driver did not have a driver's license because it was taken by another officer. We've got affidavits in that effect, but that vehicle was impounded.
Mr. Enge, Newzroom Afrika is in possession of an email that is dated the 12th of August, and it is allegedly or purportedly from the city, or an official from the city, and it is addressed to SANTACO. It reads, regarding this morning's impounds, I followed up and have been instructed to inform the industry as follows. The 6 taxis impounded will be released with no impoundment fees, but the fine for the offence code still stands, so they will have to pay the fine, but there is nothing to pay at this point. Apparently, these vehicles were impounded because the negotiations and final agreement happened so quickly that the message had not filtered down to operational command properly. The city has ensured now that all officers are properly informed. And so this suggests, or rather, maybe let's start with whether you are aware of this email and confirm its veracity.
Yeah, but the question will be, whose fault is that? Who was supposed to filter information down to everyone before starting acting? Why did they start acting knowing very well that they have not communicated to everyone, inconveniencing people because their vehicles are still in the impound now? They are losing income that they are supposed to get per day. Whose fault is that?
And so this email is indeed something that you can confirm that one of your officials received?
I can hear you.
You can confirm for us, rather, that this email is one that your officials or one of your officials indeed received from the city?
The official, who's official? One of our officials. We didn't get an email from the city.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's take a look at the taxi task team meeting. Please stay on the line for us. It's scheduled for today. You released a statement yesterday, or a note yesterday, late in the evening. Will you be attending today's meeting?
No, the meeting should have started already. We sent a letter, apologize for not attending the meeting because we are busy sorting out this issue of the weekend. I mean, people's vehicles are still there. People are not getting income.
When it comes to the court action, have you filed papers in court?
No, that is confidential.
Okay, so you cannot share that with us at this stage?
Yeah, I can't, not at this stage.
Okay, so you characterize the impounding as the city having reneged on the agreement. What does this mean? Is the agreement or the holding off of this stay away under threat?
No, we cannot say anything at the moment. But what I can clearly say is that we don't think as an industry that the task team will come up with positive results. Based, one, on what has happened this weekend, that is number one. Two, based on what was uttered by MEC Ricardo Mackenzie in the media briefing on Friday morning, where he articulated that all the vehicles that are driven by someone who is under the influence will be impounded. And the National Road Traffic Act clearly defines what offences should be impounded for. And it says that such vehicle that is driven by someone who is under the influence cannot be impounded. Instead, that person will be arrested or be issued with a fine. So that was very much surprising to us on the very first day when we said, let us go and make a joint briefing. He even further said that if this is not done in other provinces, it will be done in the Western Cape. And that was shocking, very much shocking to us as the taxi industry. Because it's what we exactly said, that we cannot be held accountable for the driver who is drunk. The law is clear in that. It says that if ever someone is driving under the influence, then that person will be arrested.
Thank you very much, sir.
Over whether. Oh, thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we can afford this afternoon, but we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Nceba Enge, SANTACO First Deputy Chairperson.